Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to my first therapy appointment. Now, my school has this really cool program partnered with BayCare where they allow you to get 3 free therapy appointments if you're feeling stressed, anxious, or whatever. Me, in my last video, I was talking about how I was feeling a little bit anxious and it was weird, and I started drinking alcohol, which I didn't think was a good thing. So I hit up BayCare and they hooked me up with 3 free therapy appointments. Alright guys, just got done with my first therapy appointment. It ended up going pretty good, I'd say. So we were talking about my anxiety, and she suggested a deep breathing method where I just take a deep breath in through my nose and then let it out slowly through my mouth, like in and the goal is to let it out as slowly as possible. And then after you do the deep breathing, she says to ask yourself a question: am I okay? That's what you should ask after doing the deep breathing. And most of the time, the anxiety is just unnecessarily too much. Some anxiety is good for survival, but too much anxiety that's just going off the rails, that's unnecessary. And by doing the deep breathing and asking yourself if you're okay, which you usually will be, that helps make the anxiety at least get a little bit lower and more manageable. Now, the second thing that we talked about is something that I'm dealing with, which is death anxiety. Pretty much just the anxiety of being a mortal human being that knows for 100% sure that I'm going to eventually decay and die. I don't know when I'm gonna die, but I do know that I'm going to die eventually, which is very hard for me to come to terms with since nobody wants to die. A lot of people, they deal with this through their religion, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever religion. A lot of those religions have the concept of eternal life after death, which is pretty much the idea of heaven, where if you do good in this life, then you'll live forever in heaven. Now, I'm not as religious, so I have a harder time coping with death, since I believe that death entails the permanent annihilation of the self. So, I guess a way of me coping with death anxiety is partially me making these videos, because I know that these videos are gonna last longer than my physical body. These are gonna be uploaded to YouTube for pretty much forever. So the same way how I'm making these videos, which are gonna last much longer than my own life, my therapist was talking about how she was watching this thing on 60 Minutes where these people in the Holocaust, they pretty much knew they were going to die, and at least one of the people in a concentration camp, they were able to write down some musical notes onto, I don't know, it was like a piece of toilet paper, using just charcoal just to write out the musical notes. And then they found these remnants of the song that was written down by one of the Holocaust victims, and then they played the actual music of what they wrote down, and it ended up being some beautiful classical music. There's my therapist right there, her cute dog. She brings the dog into the therapy room because some people, you know, they feel more at ease when there's an animal. They can pet the animal. It helps with their anxiety. So her name is Valerie. She's super nice, and I guess I'm making my own music right now with these videos. Look at this beautiful exit. Look at all these palm trees. Yeah, that's Florida for you guys. So, and another thing my therapist was talking about, so if you guys don't know, I study EEG, so pretty much the brain waves, and I'm looking to make pretty much a robot neurologist that can read these EEG waves, which is pretty much an artificial neural network that can replace my biological neural network and read EEGs long after I'm gone. Now, the real reason why I'm doing that is to cope with my death anxiety. It's not to make people feel better and help people with their epilepsy. That isn't the first reason of why I'm doing it. It's to cope with my own death anxiety, making a replacement for myself, pretty much, that can still read EEGs long after I'm gone. Now, she said, instead of making this robot neurologist for yourself to cope with your own death anxiety, she says that it'll do you much more good if you do it for the reason of helping as many people as possible with their epilepsy, rather than doing it for yourself. And if you can help many people, as much people as possible, then that will actually help you or myself cope with death, make dying, well, she said it would help make dying a much easier thing to do if I take this life, focus on living instead of focus on dying, take this life and try to help as many people as possible. So other than this robot neurologist that I'm making, I'm also making this video, which will hopefully help some people who have anxiety, depression, some type of mental health issue. Maybe I can help them out too, because it's a real thing and a lot of people suffer from it.